Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, alhamdulillah. And now, inshallah ta'ala. So, it's me and the brother. This is not a late night session. This is one of our sessions that generally I don't record and put on YouTube. But again, the brothers convinced me that, this would possibly be of some benefit to some people. And I probably should consider sharing them more, alhamdulillah. So, what we like to do is a recap of our classes when our classes will start, right? We like to generally do a recap because most of the time he's 100% of the time he's going through the book in Arabic, and then he'll give some explanation. So everybody Arabic isn't that strong, even mine. So some of it I don't catch, but he will, after he go through it, the Arabic, then he will give the explanation and throw in different details from the scholars and sheikhs that he sat with. So generally, like, we always familiar with what the book is, and if we have it in Arabic or we get it in, we can get some of them be in English, so some of them we'll get in English. So what we like to do is do a recap of our classes. And what we was in class, well, what time was it this morning? For me, it was like 7 a.m. From like 7 to, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so now at the Maghrib, we get together and we recap the classes, because I'm telling you, this morning, man, Ustad was smoking. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because the way I be having to do my classes in different time zones, alhamdulillah, now that you could do stuff through your mobile phone, but like, wallahi, I'm dealing with the class while I'm doing my grocery shopping early this morning. Sometimes I'm at work and I got a masjid phone and another phone, so then I had to put one phone right here, get my masjid phone, and tiptoe in a little, go to my car and different things. Take my whole lunch break, just on my lunch break, go to the car. I be sitting up on class, then I'm in class while I'm grocery shopping. Wallahi, this morning. So, I be seeing like a lot of people, they have difficulties. They can't figure out how to schedule stuff. See, I'm going to tell y'all, and it was actually Mufti Muhammad was the first person that I heard say this years ago. Like, I'm talking about years ago, maybe in like 2017. So he was basically, somebody asked him a question. He was doing an interview. I seen him in an interview, and they was telling him, how you find time to study, like when you was in the university. And what he said was, the student of knowledge, right? The student of knowledge has time. They find time for everything else. So they was like, what you mean? He said, see, the student of knowledge, they find time to eat. They find time to sleep. But everything else, other than that, everything else is studying, revising, memorizing. Everything else is that. Everything else evolves around seeking knowledge. I find some time to sleep. When I'm not asleep, I'm seeking knowledge. Like he said, when I get up to have me a quick breakfast, I'm not getting no big meal, something that's going to take me a long time to cook. But while it's cooking, I'm studying, I'm revising, I'm memorizing. While I'm sitting down eating and having my coffee, I'm studying, I'm reading, I'm revising. When we traveling and we in the car, somebody got the book out and they reading it out loud to us, or we going through Q&As. You understand? So when he said that, I was like, wow. So like right now, for real, like wallahi, I was in class grocery shopping. You know what I'm saying? And of course I got my earpieces in, and it be certain points that he be saying, and I was in a grocery store, and I just kind of want to be like, cause I get loud, just be like, cause he was smoking, and so anyway, we do a little recap, and see, we do little things to encourage each other when we do our recap and our sessions. So like when we be in classes, and Ustad, he's not a scholar, but he a real strong student who graduated. He been home probably 3 years, real strong. And like maybe once a week, sometimes it's once a week, like every weekend, then it might be every 2 weeks. He had different scholars, and we talking about relevant today's scholars, and they be doing a lot of talks, smoking, and it be in all Arabic, so he translate for us. But so we do things to encourage each other when we be in class. Like for instance, whoever answers the least question had to buy dinner for the person who answered the most questions from within our group. Mashallah to Barakallah. The brother's telling me to tell y'all about verse 48. Let me put it up on here. I'm going to squeeze it in right here. Alhamdulillah. So verse 48. For any of y'all who familiar with the TV show, verse 48, I don't think that's showing up clear because that my light beam, it didn't look clear to me because you could see my light in the ceiling, it'd be bright right there. Let me sit this on this chair. Alhamdulillah. I'm gonna put it down here. So you got verse 48. So with the TV show, verse 48, when they catch criminals, people who basically they catch the criminal or get strong evidence in the first 48 hours, the probability of solving the case is stronger. So when we have in our sessions, we have what's called first 48, and we trying to convict you of being miskeen. For anybody who understand what miskeen is, let me move over here. We try to convict you of being miskeen. And this right here is I'm gonna be honest, it's a term that the Salafis use a lot. Being miskeen. Of course we know the miskeen is like poor, deprived, deficient in funds and different things. So when the Salafis refer to somebody as miskeen, you don't really have no real ilm. You don't have no real deen. You know what I'm saying? Islamic intellect. Not necessarily as an insult. So when we do first 48, trying to convict you of being miskeen, find you guilty, so we'll run off like when we start off, we're hitting each other with questions. Like you in the interrogation room. On the first 48, you in the interrogation room, and you basically have to prove that you're not miskeen. And just for the record, all of us have been found guilty of being miskeen at some point or another. You know what I'm saying? And it's a person who I know some people who be wanting to study, and I think sometimes they may feel a way like if I don't invite them to certain things, but they don't be ready. You know what I'm saying? And like if I do First 48 with them, you know, First 48 hurt some people's feelings, but we love it. So, you know, I wasn't even going to talk about it, but they told me to talk about First 48. But First 48, it put us on our toes. You know what I'm saying? And it ties in a lot with what we're talking about. At First 48, it be like that because the last thing you want to do is be what? Miskeen. Especially Miskeen Jiddan. Miskeen Jiddan, you know what I'm saying? Well, you just very miskeen. Because the Salafists get on you, boy, they be like, hey man, hey, Ak Miskeen. But so that's First 48. So those things that we do to kind of help keep others sharp. And like I say, if you're gonna be out there and you're gonna be moving and you're gonna be maneuvering, you got to be prepared for that interrogation room. Now, where do we get the concept of First 48 from? Not only the movie. When you go to the universities and it's time for you to graduate, you have to go through what they refer to as a defense. So you have to write a whole thesis, and you know a lot of those people work has been turned into books, like a lot of scholars. So you want to get your bachelor's degree, you got to go sit in a room full of scholars while they attack your Islamic point of view on your paper that you wrote, and they'll try to tear it down, they'll try to prove it wrong, and you have to intelligently defend it with Dalil. This came from here. It's like being in First 48. And if you can't, and get me wrong, if you don't get past that, you fail. You flunk. So it's just like you don't get to graduate. You understand? You have to come back up, and then sometimes you have like 3 defenses. And you know we done seen some. We done seen some where they recorded them. Boy, you had to be sharp, man. You got to be sharp. So we take a form of that, and it's preparing for the ones who end up having to do a defense. You know, it's putting you in there. But that's what we like to call it, the First 48. We trying to find you guilty of being miskeen. You know what I'm saying? And especially like in the classes, whoever answered the least questions have to pay for dinner for the person that answered the most questions. That lets you know we be at it for real. Nobody trying to answer the least amount of questions. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like the questions, the material be difficult. You know, so like alhamdulillah. So enough about that. So the class, we going through a book by Ibn Taymiyyah. Smoking, man. Ibn Taymiyyah, man, just to see his scholarship. So the subject matter is basically about being the opposites of the disbelievers or the people that's considered to be on the pathway. I was just thinking that. Alhamdulillah. Because it ain't on here. He exactly right. So I'm going to put that light shining right there. Let me see where they really shining. I'll put it right here. Includes Muslims. Okay. So, and the people that's on the path to the hellfire or the path of being deviant, you know, the people who displays those characteristics. So, And I also have up here, this is my personal thing right here. And then as y'all can see, these is our 3 questions right here. That's going to be our homework. Right? That's our homework. And then this right here is our reflection. Let me put that right there for YouTube. Reflection. Alright. Let's put some quotation marks right there. So that's for reflection. Alright. So to the book. I'm gonna read a little bit of it to show some of the scholarships of Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, right? So this right here, this chapter is under directives to differentiate from those who deviated from clear guidance. So this can also include Muslims. Okay? So what would it be to and this under the chapter heading before I start to get into it and some of what Ustad was explaining. How do you differentiate yourself from Muslims who have fell into deviance or clear misguidance? So we know some of the things that the Rasul Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the way Allah Azza wa Jal instructed him to be different, to separate itself, and to make a clear distinction between him and non-Muslims. Not only in apparel, okay? Not only in apparel, but in the ways and actions. There has to be a clear distinction between me and the kuffar. To the point that if I'm standing next to a kuffar of whatever type, because we know that the kuffar isn't always a Jew or a Christian the way we limit it down to. It could be a Buddhist, and for us African Americans, I'm just going to say a Moorish American. I don't want to name any other groups because, you know, I don't want anybody to take offense to it and reject the ilm. So they could be a Moorish American under Islamism, but then how can it be the same with a Muslim? Because you also have deviant groups, and we're just restricted to the Shiites. Okay, so one of the things that Ustad was speaking on, and he given definitions from the scholars he sat with the book, and also what the book speaks on. So he was saying, like, is it permissible for a Muslim to wear all black thobe, all black kufi? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's permissible. But then he was like, okay, so what about on the 10th of Muharram? Should a Muslim wear all black on the 10th of Muharram? And then he was like, so of course it's mustahab, it's not mandatory, but then sometimes it depends on the area where you are. What's the problem with wearing all black on the 10th of Muharram? See, that's a holiday for the Shiites. And they wear all black on that day to symbolize that they in mourning. You know, they also do some things like cut their head, and I won't go into that. But if you're in an area that's heavily Shiite influence and they're making this day a holiday, a Eid, and everybody's going to have on all black that day, you need to make a clear distinction between yourself and them. So you don't want to wear all black that day, because now you want to make sure you're clearly distinctive to the eyes of another believer, somebody who isn't on a deviant path. You see what I'm saying? So that you don't get confused, where people don't confuse you and put you in the same bowl as those Shiites that's doing some harm. Now, what he was explaining was, and the book do explain that, because he was reading from it. One thing that we take for granted when you go look to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadiths on the things where he chose to be different, to make a clear distinction from the other people in his circumference, right? And a lot of the hadiths, whether they in apparel and different things, because apparel and how you dress is one of the main distinctions, because the first thing that people see is your appearance. So you want an appearance that's distinct, that's distinctively Islamic. There's no doubt about it when somebody look at you and they know no matter about your character, this and that. When they look at you, they're able to say he or she is a Muslim. So when you go to look at that and see the categories and the things that he speak about, what he was saying was how the Muslims in today's time. Now keep in mind, this Ibn Taymiyyah did this book. So we talking about 1,000 years ago, 900 years ago, 800 years ago. So it's still relevant to this day, but we take for granted what exactly it means to be opposite of the disbeliever, because we don't see the harm in it. You understand what I'm saying? So he was like, now we bringing it to the modern times, especially when you live in a land, when you live, in Darul Kufr. You know what I'm saying? The land of disbelief, like where we stay, right? Because we so embedded into this culture. You know what I'm saying? Because we so embedded into this culture, we can't see the problem in looking like them. As far as dressing like them, we don't see the problem, and it's harmful to us. So when the Rasul was instructing things on different people, they didn't necessarily see the harm in it. Like, well, it's just a little something. Like, if they wear all orange shoes, why we gotta wear all black? They just orange shoes. Those shoes don't make you a Muslim whether they black or orange, because we can't see the harm in it, right? And Allah, like it says, Allah instructed the Rasul in this matter for a reason. And I'm going to add an extra little detail in it, because from other studies, right? Everything is a test. See, even when you look at the ones who came before us, they was tested in food that we wasn't tested with. It wasn't necessarily that the food may have been necessarily harmful, but it was a test to see who was going to eat it and obey that prophet or not. Or the food that they was told not to eat, who's going to obey that? So when we instructed in being opposite of the disbelievers, even in apparel, right? Who's gonna follow that command? See, a lot of us gonna turn to, well, ain't nothing wrong with it. There's nothing harmful. That don't make you who you is. So it's a test. Is you gonna obey Allah and His Messenger? Not even to have to go into what's legislated, because you could see, like one of the brothers was asking me about khimars and proper hijab. So I was showing him how, like, some people actually have real khimars, but they starting to twist them and style them on their head to look cute, and they bosom is still exposed. When you look at the Quran ayat in the Arabic, it specifically say, pulled it down to come over your bosom. So once you twist it up and come up with a style and pull it this way, and one of your bosoms is out and the other one is out, you totally rejecting the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because that's what when the second ayat came down with the correction, pull it down past your bosom. So like I said, and if it come to like right here, it's a different story of like you have on something big and baggy, you know, you fall and or you may not be as busty. And in some cases, sometimes people just extremely busty where it ain't gonna make no difference. You're gonna notice that there's some bust there, but at least they tried and put 150% effort into following that command. See, it's a different story when you take that kimar and then you wrap it up and style it and then take the rest of it and hang it over your shoulder and now your bosom is out. But it looks harmless because I'm in hijab. I have on the apparel for hijab. You see what I'm saying? Just like this, I can have this thobe on, but if it's so snug, right, and you looking at me right here, and you can see my stomach muscles and my belly button, you can see the print of it because this thobe's so snug on me, then I done violated the legislations of this apparel. So we don't necessarily see the harm, we take it for granted because our environment is harmless. I don't, just because I have this on don't make me a good Muslim. I could be a bad Muslim and wear that, which is true. But you taking out of the fact that you still disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. It's a test. You know what I'm saying? If Allah commands something, Allah knows best. So the Rasul knew the benefits of being the opposite of the disbelievers. So a lot of stuff what I just explained was how you can fall into imitating Muslims that can deviate you. So being opposite of the disbelievers or those ones who's deviated in clear guidance. You understand? Those who have deviated in clear guidance, that could be Muslims. One sister could take a hijab and beautify it and wrap it up and make it cute like a scarf and do this, and then next thing you know, 100 sisters is doing it. But they not familiar with their Quran, they not familiar with the Arabic, they not familiar with their Quran at all. You know what I'm saying? For real. But they have deviant groups that came up with their own version of covering and different things, but they totally violating the commands of Allah Azza wa Jal. Take that headscarf, that thing over your head, and y'all take them and extend them down past your bosom. So you want to be the opposite of the Muslim sisters that's falling into that. So that does include just getting a little hair piece that comes to right here with the little piece right here, like you put that on and then you put that over and it come right here, and then you have your little snug cute shirt like the kuffar, your same clothes that the kuffar wear, but you just got this headpiece covered, bosom, rest of your body out. You totally violating the command. But sometimes there's leniency because some people don't have the heart to start doing it right away. You know what I'm saying? So at their level best, they could fall in a different category. You see what I'm saying? They could fall in a different category because they not at that level best yet. So that's different. But when you've been doing that for 20 years, for 30 years, and you think that is the legislation, some of the brothers who coming up out and dressing a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying, clothes a little snug, pants a little snug, and all these different things, you falling out of the legislation, whether it's a thobe or not. So some of these, you know, these jerseys and some of this stuff, these skinny jeans, and especially jeans with holes in them, and your knees is all out, you violating the legislations. But what's the main thing that's leading to that? We imitating the disbelievers in some type of way. We imitating the ones who have deviated from clear guidance. And that's why I like that word that they use in the English translations. Clear guidance. When they say clear guidance, one, this guidance is to what? This guidance is to Jannah. Alright? That's what this deen is about. Getting you to Jannah. And then it's clear. So there's nothing to doubt about it. It's not hard to understand. It's extremely simple. That hair covering that y'all got over your head, pull it down over your bosom. Quran ayat. That's clear. That's easy. That's simple. Even if you tell a little kid and you don't use the word bosom, take that your scarf and pull it down to right here. A little kid they might not even be able to talk yet. And a little kid can go like this. It's that clear. It's that clear. So the ones who have deviated from the guidance that's clear, you want to be the opposite of them, whether they Muslim or not. So as it come in, so as we get into a little bit of the book, right, it shows that some of the things that the harms that comes in imitating them. So one, you have what's referred to as the way it worded, participating in these conducts breed homogeneity, right? And resemblance, right? And it results in moral and active congruency, right? And the word congruence is basically being similar or in agreement with something, or it don't matter to you either way. It's harmless. See, one of the common mistakes of the Muslim is we're not going to imitate the culture of the Muslims, but we're going to imitate the culture of the Jahil. You understand? We got our own culture that's not Islamic. We're just going to be Muslims with our own culture, and to heck with that Islamic culture. You understand? And we don't see the harms that lead to that. So when it's saying that it leads to homogeneity, I'm going to pull this word up for the people. So, y'all ever heard of like paying homage to somebody? Let me pull it up. So, homogeny, the definition, right? The quality or state of being all the same or all of the same kind. So it becomes a trend, right? So let's say this right here. Bell bottoms at one time was a trend in America. One person put on some bell bottoms. Next thing you know, everybody had to have bell bottoms. Some people who was poor, they felt like they didn't fit in or they was picked on. Why? Because they didn't have on bell bottoms. Some people went out and committed crimes just so that they can have bell bottoms. Okay? They trying to do whatever they can to fit into the culture. Bringing it to these day and times, or like the Michael Jordan trend with the Jordan shoes. Some people was killing people because they had to have them shoes on to imitate the culture so much that where they didn't get picked on or they look just as fly as everybody else. They getting the girls because they got Jordans on. I'm finna go kill this person for they Jordans. See, that can breed that. So imitating them and not willing to be the opposite of them, we can fall into that culture. So like right now, look at how all it takes is a couple of Muslim dope dealers to turn into a bunch of Muslim dope dealers. But what are they taking their money to do? They too scared to not imitate the disbelievers. They gotta have the cars like them. They gotta play the music that they playing. And see, this also comes into the resemblance and the congruency, right? So let's say you the Muslim dope dealer. So anybody who understands what comes with dope dealing, it's a bunch of debauchery, right? Robbing, stealing, killing. So now you got to carry yourself like one because you don't want to be tested. You see what I'm saying? So now you out there looking like the drug dealer. You out there acting like the drug dealer, but you Muslim. And now, in order to go out there and fit in and carry yourself like this kafir, you understand, like this person who done left clear guidance, right? Now you got to take on the ways and characteristics of that thing. You slowly become that, but everything that's Islamic about you got to disappear. Or you're going to do what? You're going to make the Muslim drug dealing look cool. You know what I'm saying? Might sit around with a throw and have you a fifth of some, whatever the most expensive liquor out and be like this. You know, on Facebook Live with expensive liquor. Yeah, I'm out here getting to the money. Because now you got to make that look cool to the Muslims. Because slowly but surely you doing the work of the shaitan, because now you can pull Muslims into your world and now they want to get money like you. And the reason why you want to pull the Muslims into your world, because you can trust that they won't do nothing to you because you Muslim. But the kuffar will. But what if you get them killed? What if you get them locked up? You see what I'm saying? Is you going to take care of their family? No. Is you going to take care of them when they locked up? No. But see, you on the smooth recruiting Muslims into your world for two reasons: to be customers and constituents. See this, but not willing. So this is how homogeneity and resembling. Because now you resemble them. You don't resemble a Muslim no more. You understand? You don't resemble a Muslim no more. And I'm just choosing one example. This comes in everything. So now the Islamic way of life that you commanded to live by Allah Azza wa Jal is disappearing, but you becoming more like them. And you taking more of the characteristics of them. You know what I'm saying? All the way to the point where you similar to them, or you in agreement with their ways, because you don't have a problem with it. So now all the Muslims look and act like kafirs. You know what I'm saying? They'll say they on their deen, but put them in that room and see if they can survive first 48. You know what I'm saying? And see, now the new thing is we have an excuse for deficiency. Oh, well, I know all that stuff. I just don't know how to answer the questions. That's just like saying, I know 4 + 4 = 8. I just don't know how to answer it. Okay? And this is the stuff that I already know all that. I just don't know how to explain it. I mean, if you can't explain it, you don't know how to act upon it. That's just like me saying, I know how to put on my shirt, I know how to put on the thobe and this right here, but I don't know how to explain it. That's how we sound now. But guess who else sound like that? And I like to refer to them as the too far. I don't really use the word kufr and this and that, because you have Muslims who would say, man, you can't just be calling people kufr. So I call them the too fars, because they done went too far. They done deviated too far. And sometimes, that might be some of the Muslims that done went too far. You can't, like they say, which they misunderstand the hadith, but we won't get into that. So, the second point, it's a little bit more detailed, but I'm just putting the main point there. So, being different from them breeds opposition and detachment from them and their ways. I don't want to look like y'all. I don't want to talk like y'all. And then once you completely detach from it, right, you can see how ignorant that it is. See, I'm one who went through that transition in the world. Like I was explaining to one of the guys, right, from my experience. A lot of the times I seen Muslims, they They didn't realize that they needed to take Islam serious until they was in two conditions. They was either in a jail cell, which includes prison. They was either locked up or they was in a hospital bed. The problem with that is now you in the two environments where it's almost impossible for you to learn real deen. Okay? It's almost impossible for not learn terminology, not sound cool. You know what I'm saying? But implementing real Quran and Sunnah, where you know how to say, I know how to put my shoes on and explain it. This is a shoe that I'm putting on. This is how you tie it up. And then I'm able to get up and actually walk in the shoes. Not walking around barefooted with cuts and your feet all stomped up, super nasty, talking about, oh, I knew them was shoes. I knew what them things was. And I knew we should put them on. I just don't know how to explain it. You know what I'm saying? So the detachment, you totally, so when you in those environments, so like with me, what happened with me was, alhamdulillah, I was able to make that transition in the world. And when I first made Salat for real, the same environment, a family member, I used to go down there and sit with him. And it would be a whole group of them out there. They out there smoking, drinking, you know what I'm saying, pit bulls, you know, even letting the dogs fight, girls just running rampant, half naked and this and that. People, you know, we outside, so, you know, they might be grilling, there might be some music playing. And I would be in that environment and I didn't see nothing wrong with it. The music that was playing, the food we grilling, and you know, nobody ate pork, so it wasn't never no pork or nothing. A couple of people was like, you know, Muslims because they were stoned. That was the extent of their deen. They just didn't eat pork. So I would be in that environment. And then I was like, man, I need to change. And exactly what happened to me was, I need to change and get on my deen before I get in like a real bad wreck or something. And I'm in a hospital bed and I can't talk, I'm quadriplegic. You know what I'm saying? This was my sentiments. Or, you know, somebody be done put me in a situation where I might have to figure out a way to come out on top. And now I might have to walk around in shower shoes. You know what I'm saying? I might end up in a predicament where I might have to walk around in shower shoes. Because, you know, I had some businesses at the time. I had a little clothing store and stuff. So, like, man, somebody might mess around and make me have to position myself to be walking around in shower shoes, for people who understand that. So, when I started to make Salat for real, and I came outside, I prayed, and soon as I stepped foot out on my porch, a car came, the air felt different, and a car came down the street playing loud music and had rims on it, and the only thing I could see was how wrong it was. But the day before that, I couldn't see it. And my point was, I started to notice I need to detach from this. See, the being opposite, it breeds opposition of it. I opposed this. I hate it. Then I proceeded to walk down the street. And I'm just looking at it like, man, all this is wrong. And then when I get to the house where they was, I was just back there quiet. And they was like, man, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? What's up, man? This and that. And you know what I'm saying? I looked at them, I was like, I'm out of here. So I understood Allah detached me. And it led all the way up to the point where I pretty much done detached myself from a lot. And it's alhamdulillah for me. So participating in these things breeds intermingling until there is no distinctions. See, because you slowly but surely, a short way to break this down, homogeny, basically you become a product of your environment. See, the person who want to be a lawyer, when they hang with lawyers, eventually they become one if they put the work in. You know what I'm saying? You become a product of your environment. If you intermingling, if everybody in your environment celebrate birthdays, do Christmas, do Thanksgiving, Valentine's Days, and all these other things, and you eventually you're going to start to do it to the point where there's no distinction. But the one thing that I always fought the Muslims who play in it and get a little gift here and there, why y'all don't never force the Eids up on them though? Y'all allow them to force birthdays and stuff on you. Why don't y'all force the Eid? Why y'all don't force the Muslim holidays up on them? Hey, come over, man. It's just all the family getting together for Christmas. Well, you know what? It's the Eid. Let's get together for the Eid. Y'all come over for that. You know what they're going to say? I ain't Muslim. Why would I do that? I ain't what y'all is. So why would I do that? But see, a lot of us are heart pump Kool-Aid. You understand? Because we've been intermingling with them people so much. You can't even tell it. You can't even tell us apart from them. In a lot of ways. Because like I said, once that congruency kick in, the resemblance, we start acting like them, we start talking like them. If you the Muslim that's going to the club and you a male or a female, eventually you got to take on that club nature. You know what I'm saying? The way you got to carry yourself in a club. You got to take on those characteristics whether you like it or not. And like they say, it automatically happens. Like one of the examples that he said in the modern times, he was like, and it happened to me. Because I moved around, I stayed in a lot of different states. When you live, if you in the Midwest, and let's say you move to Texas or you move to Atlanta, and you stay there, in about 3 to 5 years, eventually you're going to start talking like the people in Atlanta. You're going to start moving like the people in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? If you go and move to New York, you're going to start talking like the people in New York. You're going to start using the slang and you're going to start using the terminology like people in New York. You see what I'm saying? So, the thing about the kuffar, the beauty is, see, they know how to apply this stuff to marketing. If we throw one rapper in a pair of Dickies, everybody that love that rapper gonna wear Dickies. Now, because when we see some actors in the movie wearing Dickies, the characteristics and the mannerism and the gang swag that they have in Dickies, we're going to take on that same characteristic. They just trying to make money off our stupidity. You understand? So they take this stuff and turn it into marketing. We could throw these cats in the skinny jeans. We could take a few celebrities and put them out there and take some of these celebrities and turn them from boys to girls. And everybody who like them now, all these kids all these girls want to be boys, and all these boys gonna want to be girls. And then you start to see it where? In a Muslim ummah. Because a lot of us don't have the heart and the courage to leave those type of environments and choose what Allah chose, because you might not have no friends. And that's why you got to know your worth. And we're going to talk about that. So participation breeds intermingling until there is no distinction. You can't tell the Muslim apart from the kuffar, even if they have on a attire, because they that much alike now. They that much alike. Because they seen no harm in the little things that falls into imitating them. Because we We failed that test and didn't obey Allah in the small things, so the door was opened up for a large amount of anything to go on with us. Can you turn back? Do you know how to turn back? Is you too stuck in the mode of some type of nationalism, some type of I'm a Muslim because I'm a Crip, I'm a Muslim because I'm a BD, I'm a Muslim because I'm a Vice Lord, I'm a Muslim because I'm a Stone, I'm a Muslim because I'm a four-corner hustler. So you gotta continue to be that type of a Muslim, even though you might not be in that gang no more. You understand? You might not be in that gang anymore. So that's why we had these questions right here. 1, what does your Islam mean to you? Do you treat your Islam the way you would treat your favorite shoes? Huh? Your favorite car? Something that you really love. Do you detail it? Do you nurture it? Do you take care of your Islam? What does your Islam mean to you? Is it what make you who you are because you cool with the drug dealer Muslims? You cool with the fornicating Muslims? You cool with the robbing crew Muslims? Sisters, you cool with the sisters who out here totally disobeying? And just imagine that right there. You actually have on the legislated clothing of a Muslim woman or a Muslim man, and then you want to style it and look more beautiful for the kuffar and twist the clothes up to break the legislation. Trying to imitate the wrong people. Because clear guidance leads to Jannah. All this other stuff leads to the exact opposite. You off your deen. But when you talk to them people, what they gonna say out of their mouth? They on their deen better than anybody else. How's your Islamic thought process? Can you even process your thoughts Islamically when you end up in a situation? Do you even know how? Or do you process your thoughts and react like a kafir? Like the people in your environment? Like the Muslims who don't react the way they're supposed to act when it comes to being in accordance with the Quran and the Sunnah and the correct understanding? What's your Islamic thought process? Thirdly, and I got a quote up here because people used to love to quote this as Muslims. Do you even think like a Muslim? See, thought process is different than do you think like a Muslim. So it sounds similar, they go hand in hand, but what's your thought process even like? When you put your plans together, do you even think like a Muslim? Or like Benny Siegel used to say, I act Muslim, but I think kafir. And boy, I heard so many Muslims say that out of their mouth, man. And it was funny because I thought it was ignorant. Who the problem? Me. You the problem. But you a Muslim who go to the masjid running around talking about I act Muslim but think kafir. Let's define that in Islamic terminology. Let's use an Islamic thought process. Right? Let's use an Islamic thought process and define that. What does that mean? It means you is a munafiq. It means you is a munafiq. You could possibly be up on some riyah. You just acting Muslim, but you got the mind of a kafir. Huh? You a munafiq, baby. But see, because you don't have an Islamic thought process and you want to imitate the kuffar and the tufars so much, you're blinded. You're blinded. You're miskin jiddan. You miskin jitdan. And see, this is a problem. So, on knowing your worth, because before we started, the brother asked me a question, and I'm going to be honest, because I'm gonna speak on it, and I'm not gonna speak on their complete situation. So I'll put it in terms of myself, right, which is real situation. So what he said was, have you ever been betrayed by the Muslims that's been in your environment, and how you deal with betrayal? So I'm going to start off with some advice first, right? Try to do this Islamically. First, you're going to have to realize that we on different levels. Secondly, you have to look at them and try to get an understanding of why they are Muslim. Thirdly, you have to take into the account of what their understanding is of being a Muslim. Because like the Quran ayah said that we dealt with the other day, y'all have just accepted Islam, but I'm going to bring it down to what they refer to as layman terms, but I'm not trying to be offensive. Y'all have just accepted Islam, but Islam has not entered your heart. Islam hasn't entered your mind. Okay? You've just accepted Islam, so Islam ain't in you. So now, because some people take that term Muslim and they think the whole Islamic world is at their feet. But Islam may not have entered them. Because one, if you've been betrayed by a Muslim, Islam hasn't entered them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, so now we coming from Quran to Sunnah, right? The Quran ayat, now we're transitioning to the Sunnah. The ones who betray us, the ones who deceive us, the ones who move in a certain type of way like that, then they're not from us. Who is the us? The us, that's the main body. The ones that's on that sect, that's transitioning, trying to transition to Jannah, and not one of the 72 deviant ones. You understand? You understand? Now I'm finna give you some math thought. There was countless situations where particular individuals betrayed or did something to one of the Muslims. And one of the Muslims wanted to harm them. May even touch them up a little bit and had them to the point where they was finna kill them. And then they stopped themselves when people felt like, finish them, kill them. And then they stopped and said, no, I'm not going to do it, because if I do it, I'm going to be doing it for myself, and I'm not going to be doing it fi sabilillah. So now you got Quran, Sunnah, with the understanding of some of the people who understood this. So you got to take all that into accord, and then you got to figure out how to deal with it. But you want to deal with it in a manner that's pleasing to Allah Azza wa Jal, where you can be rewarded and they can lose their reward. Even if that's not what you want for them, but that's the path that they chose, Allah Azza wa Jal will leave us on the path that we have chosen until it lands us in the hellfire where Allah can burn us. Now, when you take that into account, sometimes individuals, Muslims, they don't know that they betraying you. I'm not saying all of them. So I speak about a common thing. Knowing your worth. Me, Sunnah, Brother Yasin, right? I understand my worth, and that's why I got this right here. Islamically. Regardless to how a person feels, these aren't words that I say. You the one who qualified to do this. You the one who do all this studying. You the one who got access to these scholars. You the one who got access to these students. You the one who got access to all of these other Muslims. Right? You the one who got access to classes. You the one who can actually teach. And contrary to popular belief, I can really teach and be professional. I don't have to sit down and, act like I'm cut from a cloth, right? But by me saying, this is the work that they putting on me. So that's what I mean to them. So whenever they contact me, or whenever they have some concern for me, it's some type of plan that they want to put together, and they want me to make it work. They want me to make it work. Some of these individuals, I ain't talked to them in 2 years. They'll jump rope, crawl through holes, contact 1,000,001 people to get in touch with me, not to see how I'm doing, not to see if I need anything, not how's the family, how's your Islam. Hey, I got a program together where I can get some money for my program. I got some Muslim kids, and you the only person I know that can come make my program work. You know what I'm saying? Then other people, but they don't know that's betraying you. They don't know that that's betraying you. But I'm going to do Islam, this for the kids. Then other people might come into the thing, hey, this ain't a good environment. Quit coming around here, man. I'm not going to stay around here. I'm only around here so that I can get my zakat off. Oh no, I can't under the light of Muslims, man. We're going to hug, we're going to... You're just trying to poison my mind. Alright, cool. But I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Then from that, then these individuals, one say, I'm going to pause the YouTube. I'm just going to pause the YouTube. Daki. Okay, alhamdulillah. So like I was saying, it'll be like, well, oh, you know, you're not going to poison my mind. Who out the woo? I don't have nothing to do. I ain't got nowhere else, this and that. All right, cool. You know what? For you, I'm going to do this for you. I'm finna go in, I'm finna do this and do that so that you will have a place to come fulfill your obligations. I'm going to weather this storm. I'm finna go get slandered and lied on for you. That's clear. This is for you. Yeah, we're gonna go by y'all. No. But I'm gonna do this so that you will have somewhere to go. All of this is for you. But I'm telling you, it's gonna fall apart. No, Allah did it. All right. How do I know it's gonna fall apart? Because the game plan is for me to make it work. The game plan is for me to make this corrupt system work. And I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I'm going to be opposite of people who've deviated from clear guidance. All the way up to detachment. But then, when the flip side, it's not working, it's falling apart, it's crumbling, and then the same person who I'm doing this for could sit down and say, well, whatever was going on, that was y'all stuff, man, I stay out of that. I'm going through this for you, big. This your fight. This your fight. But they don't know that type of stuff is betrayal. But it's alhamdulillah, I don't feel no way about it because I understand the position like I said from the beginning. I know the level. You understand? So then it's still knowing my worth. See, everything that people keep talking about, they big plan with me to make it work around some people that don't want it for themselves. I already got it. What I need to go get a building for and go get this or get all this other stuff and do all this and make it work when I already got it? I got my own masjid. I got the access to the scholars. I take the classes. I already got it. So what y'all looking for, what do I need to go out and look for when people already show me how they're gonna show me their thought process? You know what I'm saying? And then all this and that, and it's put out and this, that, and the third. And I sit down, oh man, I do all, it still ain't work. See, one thing about some deen, you take some Muslims together, let's say for instance, it's a situation. Why would I build and take my time and my efforts, right, and my money, right, and step outside of what I already have and what I already got going to click up with some other people to make something work that they trying to convince me that's going to work, when they sitting up and already, let's put this situation is intact, right? Y'all got the top-notch brothers. Y'all got a building. Ain't got to spend no money. As a matter of fact, you can actually steal money. You know what I'm saying? You can actually steal from the poor Muslims that's miskin and get money yourself. Let's say, for instance, this started in April. So you got April, May, June, July, August, and September. We're not going to count October. That's 6 months. That's 6 months. You already got it. In 6 months, y'all should have had an arrow going up like this. Y'all should have had an arrow going up. All these grand plans, why it ain't working already where y'all got it? All of them, everybody comes with this, and this. You know, because you know what the key is, just go ahead and say it. You ain't there. You not there. I'm everybody's scapegoat. Oh, it ain't working. He here, he teaching this, he teaching too high level. Oh man, he here, he telling me the truth, this and that. He trying to poison my mind. No, I'm here for y'all, and I'm doing this for you. But at the same time, it's my fault. But on the flip side, I need you to come make my stuff work for me. You know what I'm saying? But they don't know that they betraying you. They don't know that they betraying you. And I don't say nothing because, and like I said, I'm gonna put it in a situation where I'm gonna use me and then show how I deal with it, and it's the same way you deal with how you deal with it. You feel what I'm saying? But you can see it's still Quran and Sunnah with a correct understanding in it. Because even when you say something, they're going to take some time to think about it and have some form of a comeback. Just like with an individual, oh, well, this and that, you was wrong about this and that. Okay, cool. Here, let's take a look at this. Okay, well, I'm not going to admit that you was right, but you're still wrong about this. Okay. Well, I'm going to wait and sit around and find something else. So you really can't win with them. They're going to come up with a way to justify that the waswas man is heavily affecting them. The waswas is heavily affecting them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping it 100. And that's why, because of that common thing, and it ain't no knock to them. Some people just don't know it. Like that Quran ayah say, man, that Islam hasn't entered into them yet. So then it turns into, because I know what my worth is to them, because I know what they're trying to get out of me. So then it boils down to a race. Let me hurry up and get as much as I can get up out of you so that I can get in and get this stuff to move when I don't need nobody. But it's going to boil down to you like the 10th person. You just knew them. You done knew them. You done knew them. But then it's always the bad guy. No matter how I go on the bad guy. Man, you need to come out here. You need to come there, this. And then even at the same time, I'm still going to help you. Look, let me grab you. Let me walk you through these doors and sit around and wait for you to see it. Because I'm going to tell y'all something, man, about Muslims, man. Some Muslims, and this isn't the same individual, but this is how people will do you. When you tell them what's going on and you fill them in, you're trying to corrupt their mind. You're trying to poison their mind. You're not trying to put them on. So then you get to the point where you be like, well, you know what? I just ain't going to say nothing else. Then when it's all revealed, then they look at you like, well, you wasn't a real friend no way, because you knew what was going on with me and you didn't tell me. You understand? See, you knew what was going on with me and you ain't say nothing. So how you really feel about me? And then you be looking at them like, when I was telling you, you rejected everything, because now I'm trying to put a process in your mind. If I'm sitting up saying, hey, this right here is black marker, and some individuals like, man, don't listen to him, that's orange. A person can't sit down and say, me and you need to come up with a plan together, and you betraying me for the people that's betraying you. When I'm sitting around here going through this to create a situation so you got somewhere to bump your head on the floor. But the whole time, I'm the mind poisoner. The whole time, I'm saying stuff when I shouldn't. I'm doing this for you. You know what I'm saying? So this is just what come with it. This is just what come with it, man. And you just have to keep it intact as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying? And try to keep your Islamic thought process, man, because everybody process information the way that they need to in order to live with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Until they put themselves in an Islamic thought process. Because like I sit down and say, cool, I'm going to be 100% the problem, right? For everybody. But everything y'all trying to get, already got it. Done had it successfully, alhamdulillah. I'll just say in this city, I done had it successfully since 2007. In 2 more years, that'll be 20 years. Well, we close to 2025. You understand? I had it before I came here. So, this is just, so you know what I'm saying? I know the blueprint. I took the steps. I went through it. I know what it takes. Man, come on, man. And then, you know, like people will feel some type of way. But I done seen them on the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Even these same people, I done seen them on the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? You know, but like I say, I don't take it to heart. I never feel no way about it. It's a alhamdulillah for me. And I'm still going to help anybody who want to try to achieve some Islamic goals, but they need to reflect on their environment first. And then they need to ask themselves some of these questions. See, and like when we saying about the environment, some people environment is so un-Islamic, it blows my mind to see people looking for Islamic peace in an un-Islamic environment. You know what I'm saying? You in a house full of people that's drinking, getting high, not saying du'as or bismillah, nothing when they come in your house. All this, some people got all type of, I almost paused because I know some people who watch this and almost said dogs. So don't feel like most people do. This is not a personal attack. But some people be having dogs all in their house, and they're looking for Islamic peace in an un-Islamic environment. So what's your environment look like? Everybody who step foot through this door be like, man, this look like a masjid. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Because I ain't got to sit around and wait for this, and that. Yeah, and originally, I'm going to go ahead and get this man as a masjid for the people. But if not, and then I could completely fund it. But if not, I'll just live in it. And then I'll bring the people who elevating and doing these certain type of things, we'll do what we doing. And then along with my companions who I'll be online with, and when they come here, alhamdulillah, they got a place to stay, they got a place to study, and they got a place to be peaceful. And we can sit down here, we can grill, throw some meat on, study, listen to a couple of scholars like what we done had, and have good times. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. Everything that everybody is talking about we need and they trying to get, I done had it since 2007. I done had it since 2007. And invited everybody to everything. Look, these classes, this. Nobody want to do nothing. Cool, alhamdulillah. I'm not gonna not do it because of this and that. Look, I don't walk you through another set of doors, huh? You know what I'm saying? Let me help you get acclimated until you can see it. But yeah, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? But we finna head out, man. Man, I love y'all brothers, man. I appreciate it, man. And just take all that in. And this ain't no personal attack towards nobody. I don't feel no way towards nobody. But cause like I said, it's alhamdulillah, I'm always gonna have love for the people. You know what I'm saying? And because I understand. I understand how the shaitan move. I understand how the angels move. And I understand, man, that we need to beware. And I understand, man, that we really need to get ourselves together and learn some deen. So like I'm sitting down saying to my guys, sometimes, man, they don't know that they betraying you. They don't know it. You know what I'm saying? They could say they loyalty, oh, I'm loyal to this, and this. But then it's like, man, that stuff y'all had going on was between y'all. I'm not involved in that. This is going on because I'm defending you. I'm doing this for you. You see what I'm saying? We not going through this because this is us. I'm still around and I'm doing this for you and you only. So, although you feel like it's something that's going on that you have, this has absolutely everything to do with you. But it's alhamdulillah. Because I want to help people grow in their process and get to where they need to be. Alright, Sheikh, man. Alhamdulillah, man. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.